as we load out here, I'll quickly jump into BAGM. I'll quickly go over some of the new fun things we have in there, such as player morale. So, BAGM.
That's Willet's job, though. It's not the GM, right?
Yeah.
In BAGM, we allow you to also edit lines and all that kind of stuff.
That's
as
awesome.
well. So you basically have full control over the team.
You're like a manager in soccer.
Basically,
Yeah.
I love that.
And I would imagine on a hockey team, the coach is talking to the general manager about
Oh, yeah.
issues in the locker room or not, and scenarios around the team. So
once we load up into here, which should be about now, you'll notice that there's a few things a little bit different in regards to the very bottom of the screen. You'll see that there's something called locker room chemistry and player meetings. And what locker room chemistry is, every player in our game is assigned a personality. And based off of the personality, we then say how much chemistry players have with each other in the locker room, and then we assign a final number based off of how many leaders you have in the locker room, and other players can also become locker room presences as well. So you'll see that within here we have Henrik and Daniel as 2 leaders, and we have Bo as he has a leadership trait as well.
Already?
they've been talking captain for last year.
They dropped him.
Yeah.
It's a natural.
And so you'll see that a lot of guys have very neutral. They're important to the dressing room and they contribute a bit. But the guys with the more leaders you have will actually help your team perform better on the ice. And basically, what locker room chemistry does is it gives you a bit of a boost in gameplay for offensive awareness, defensive awareness, so you're more of a cohesive group, as well as in the sim engine. It'll help you win games as well. You also see here you have the smiley faces for players, which basically indicate whether or not a player is happy or upset, and you'll see a trend here as well.
They're all happy, eh?
Yeah. So at the beginning of the game, you'll get everyone at a relatively happy state.
Yeah.
And you also get a trend whether or not they're going up or down from one day to the next.
Yeah, nice.
You also, so I'll sim a little bit here and I'll show you some morale stuff occurring, because at the start of the year there's not much happening. So I'll sim to the regular season and we'll start seeing some things pop up. And once things pop up, I'll talk about it a little bit.
Who are some of the guys you've had good chemistry with in the locker room on the Canucks, I guess?
You know what? I kind of felt like I was jumping in between groups. Like some days I was with the older guys, and then sometimes with the younger. So I feel like I kind of had good chemistry with everyone. But obviously, me and Tyne have been playing for the same team for a lot of years now.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's the one that I got the best chemistry with.
Gotcha.
So you guys may have noticed that there's a notification up there. So that will actually tell you everything that's occurring to a player or the players on your team throughout the year. So as you're simming or as you're playing, you'll get notifications saying, hey, this guy gained morale for not enough ice time, or gained morale for playing a lot, lost morale for losing ice time. There's certain things in there where if you trade certain players, they'll be upset that you trade away a star player and you're no longer focusing on winning and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll go into a little bit deeper about how certain players actually have high chemistry players that stick around with them. So a Daniel and Henrik Sedin will always be linked together. A guy like Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaff will also be linked together. So if you trade one of them, the other guy is not going to be very happy about it. As well as if you bring them back together, it'll also boost their morale.
And this is even if the Blues got one Sedin, and then 2 years later you traded the other Sedin to the Blues, it would actually track that they know these are two are best friends or brothers, and then it would go from there.
So if I go to Daniel. So he currently has no concerns, but you can see that his best locker room chemistry is Henrik.
Yeah,
and he has high locker room chemistry with Dan Hammies, Burrows, and Verbata. And as you cycle through guys, different guys will have different players that they're all have high or low chemistry with.
So Alex Edler doesn't like Ronald Cannon, say?
No, it's not necessarily like it's in regards to the. It's basically a chemistry. So how well they sort of feed off each other, I guess is kind of the layman's term for it.
No one likes Ronald Kennedy.
So you also see here, we actually have a log of events that occur. So
I'm going to trade him away.
So you also have a log of stuff as well. So you'll be able to see everything that's happened to a player throughout the course of a BGM.
Yeah.
Which is cool because basically based off of their personality, when you have an interaction with them, because you can have player meetings with players, you sort of need to know how they would react to certain situations so that you can get the best out of that player to react out of that meeting. We also have team meetings. I'm going to try to get one to occur here.
I have a good question here. Is there slow simming this year?
The simming is much improved. You can probably see that it's going a lot quicker than it has been in the past.
Is there slow simming as in you can actually watch the progress
sim
of the
intervene.
game?
Yeah, so we have added sim intervene back. So you can intervene into games as well as just watch the sim.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I got a conversation here. I can also hold a team meeting, so you can also... So in this case, we're talking about a game that happened prior to, and not many people thought they would win, so you're giving the speech to the team.
I'll give the speech.
And each of these will have a different outcome based off of the personalities of the players in the locker room. So as you add or subtract players onto the team, certain things may work for certain players and certain things may not work for other players. And so you sort of have to be very cautious in terms of what you actually pick.
And it's not 100%. So it's not built on the system that you say this and this guy always reacts well. It's based on there's some percentage of their personality and then just odds, because we don't want it to be a game of I know exactly what to say to make him happy. But you do want to work on trying to make your whole locker room as happy as possible.
So as you can see here, there's players.
I'm going to meet with Daniel to discuss. Ooh, he's having a tough go right now, right?
So based off their personalities, they'll react differently to certain things.
This is definitely for their personality.
Oh, there you go.
You're going to be good with it. You know everybody on the locker room.
Okay, where do I trade Ronald Cannons?
So you press circle. Press circle again, and then go into trade players. You'll be able to trade certain players. So you can either go down there, or you can keep going to the right and go to trade and improve. Go back one and down. There we go. And then you can go to trade.
So whether you trade a superstar or you trade a fourth line player,
there's trading blocked.
there will actually be consequences. So if your third line was all buddies and one got traded, it would affect the other two. It might not affect the superstars as much, but it does affect who's around them. And then if you trade a superstar player, obviously that ripples through a lot more of the team.
And Eddie was there in the trade block as well. Putting players on the trade block will actually have an effect on the player as well. So putting players will actually have a negative effect on them, and they'll sort of take away some morale from the players.
I also saw, like if you move someone from like the second line to the third line, does that also affect them?
Yeah, it does. So ice time plays a big role. So as soon as they start getting more and more ice time, they'll start gaining morale for it. Basically, we have 4 different morale meters. So there's management, there's teammate, performance, and whatnot, and you can basically each of those has certain things that move it up or down. And actually, if you trade a player, I was discussing this earlier with Andy, players would actually have a tougher time adjusting. So they have an adjustment period that they need to sort of acclimate to their new environment as they go on throughout their career and their season. So when you acquire a guy, you'll actually have to.
Some guys will just step in pretty much right away, and then a scenario could be that a guy just takes a couple of weeks to get going with his team because he doesn't know the teammates very well, and he hasn't even got a place to live. Just starts to bring up all the facts that every player reacts differently.
Yeah, you'll start seeing his morale sort of climb back up.
Try to pull a veteran.
Can I get the...
Well, Kenneth, just to let you know, Kenneth doesn't make much money, so then
No, but I
Kids
threw
are the first.
Oh, so the red ones I can't trade for them because I don't have cap space.
No, the red ones are the guys that they're interested
that's
in
interested who
getting
they're willing to give up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps you guide you to say, oh, if I want to get one of the guys, in, like if you wanted to get Zetterberg, you'd have to give up probably a little more because that's a player that they think is their core.
Yeah.
We actually worked on some of the trade logic as well to sort of help improve it based off of last year, going on boards and whatnot, seeing the trades that I've seen, try to help improve the ability for the CPU to sort of
add a little more.
how the CPU reacts to certain trades, and if you're trying to
So
take
on
away
the-
a player
on the bottom
from,
end, you're going to see that it actually told you that Vancouver would be over the salary cap.
so you can force
Oh,
the trade.
yeah. That's why I need to add.
You need to.
I need to add a contract.
So if you're trying to take away a player from the CPU, you may have to give up an equally good value asset for them. Whereas last year was a little bit more looser in the constraints that you could have.
I'm adding Verby.
They may still not take this.
You know.
Hit it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well,
He's young and there you go.
there you go. Well, the first round I think helped a
Wow,
lot.
the competition got rid of Cannons.
How do I get myself back?
Oh.
So you see up there, players were happy and getting upset that you lost a player in Bravada, but you also gained a player back in
Yeah.
regards to Nyquist. And then depending on trade level you're on, trades become easier and harder, depending on what you have.
So yeah, we have levels of trade difficulty. Also, just so that because we didn't show the intro into the mode,
Assistant coach.
fantasy draft is
Yeah,
back, so you can do
See,
a full
Swedish
fantasy
first line.
draft
There you go.
to
Good chemistry up there.
to start off
Yeah.
your BAGM, so you can have that in, and that's in this mode as well as in season mode. And you can do that.
Also, when you trade for a player, they actually don't, unless they know a player previously, like they will actually slowly, within X amount of days, gain friends or gain chemistry players based off of that.
A lot of people are asking
So we
for
were
maybe
4-3
a
before
demonstration of the
trade.
intervene.
Okay.
Oh,
See
sure.
what happens.
Let Eddie sim to a game here, and then we can
Yeah.
sort of go into that sim intervene flow.
He
Yeah.
wants to see if his team has gotten better or worse since the trade.
See, I'm winning.
Nyquist is
Shaking
good.
things up.
We lost against this whole team though. Utica Comments is doing good.
You guys like seeing as a guy that's on the NHL team? Do you even follow the minor league team? Like if you're a full
little
time,
bit. I mean, I was following it. Especially, I had a good friend of Mark's from the last year, so I was just kind of following him. But
So if you hit X on the Devils game there, and then go to sim game.
oh, sorry.
No worries. And then you'll be able to watch the sim unfold as events happen.
We haven't been doing good, so
So the action tracker is back. So not only do we use some of the core functionality here in the sim intervention, but you'll actually be able to have the if you're playing a game, the action tracker's there. You can actually go look at your clips of what you've done or what happened in the game. That was one of the features a lot of people really liked, and we brought it back.
Yeah, so you have all the same functionality. You'll have the same functionality. You'll be able to go into game. You'll be able to speed up the clock and all that kind of stuff, and you can just watch the sim unfold. One of my personal favorites. I love just watching.
Yeah,
the sim.
this is also a big favorite of mine as well.
Corey Schneider's in my way right now.
Seems like New Jersey, 1 goal. They never score more than 1 goal.
Don't have to.
That's true.
I have to intervene here soon.
5-on-4 power play. Markstrom's playing that too.
Bring it home.
What pro? Yeah, that's probably me at my skill level, right?
Yeah, you
Or
you'll-
rookie, go pro. Yeah.
and you can set up whatever level you want to play when you enter into BGM. So you'll set up your rules and settings. So you can make it all-star or superstar, pro or rookie.
Got some more questions coming in?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are repeat questions, and some of them are great questions. You have to sift through them.
He shows in blocking shots. He's got a remarkable number of those blocks over the last couple.
They're asking why I'm so bad at this, or what?
The puck is taken up by Camilleri.
No, they're all saying you're a beauty.
Looks ahead to start something. Moving it to Hansen. Speeds right on goal.
Oh no.
Picture with the same.
Okay. Will injuries, captaincy assignments, or playing a non-natural position affect morale?
So injuries will. So as a player gets hurt, they will lose morale for that. Captaincy changes will as well. They'll actually have a conversation. So if you strip a guy of captaincy, it will bring up a conversation. The guy will lose morale, as well as giving a player a captaincy. And in both the NHL or AHL teams, will actually give them morale.
And then what was the last thing you said?
Let me find it here again.
Playing off wing.
Playing
yeah.
Playing down position will not. Those are the two things will.
Okay.
So that is something that would be cool to do for sure.
Yeah, we don't think that when we added all these pieces into player morale, it wasn't. We kind of knew that there's going to be more stuff as we go along that we would like to.
Oh, there you go.
So at some point, I think those new additions will just keep going as we figure them out.
Yeah.
There you go. The trade's paying dividends.
I know.
The goaltender had no chance stopping that puck with the quick release. Daniel Sedin's
Second shine.
sweet hand.
I'm seeing a lot of repeat questions about a fantasy draft. Yes, there is a fantasy draft option.
Canucks control from the faceoff. Dumped in. Scooped up by Green.
Oh boy.
Slides it to the point to Edmund. Fires! Wonderful stop. You want to score goals, you have to go to this area. You got to find a way to put it in the net. Breach blocked so many pucks over the
I'll win this, boys.
You would think you'd like to
Bring it
stick in
home.
one of them once in a while.
Is there an All-Star game weekend?
How can they get it out?
No, not this year. No.
Locks on that.
Oh.
Camilleri.
Uh-oh.
Wonderful chance was set up and the pass just goes wide.
Go hammer. Hammer time.
Fires. He had a great chance, but he has just missed the net. Oh, missed opportunity to
So if you give a neutral player captaincy, will that turn him into a leader?
Not necessarily. So players, like I said, they're assigned personalities, and they also have certain qualities. So a leadership quality is also a thing that. So having a guy like that, that isn't necessarily a leader in the locker room, may not be the greatest choice. Players may not be happy about that either. So giving it to a guy that isn't necessarily qualified is not the best idea to do.
Oh, Markey.
fires in front.
Oh.
Great save, point blank.
Come on, Bo. Show you're a leader.
Right in front. Almost looks like he's too close to the goaltender. Nice tip of the pass. Pitching this one to Palmieri.
Not the best guy.
He's alone.
Oh, back check.
Tripping.
What happened? Come on.
Here's a trip.
Vancouver sent to the box for 2 minutes.
I thought it was going to be that was shot.
Desperation mode. All he was trying to do was sweep the puck, but unfortunately caught the player's skates.
Uh-oh.
New Jersey's
What did it say on the
Face only, crackle, face only mother can love.
and they've won that draw.
Will player points stats go past 4 years in GM mode this year?
Off the top of my head, I do not recall. I believe it's the same as the previous years.
Keeps it going up the wing.
And he can't shoot. I gotta pass this. Oh.
Defensive end together. New Jersey's in possession through the neutral zone. A terrific bumpy run to the end game. At least one more
team.
dramatic face-off.
Want to keep going in overtime? You want to keep it moving? Yeah.
Can we re-sign players during the season? I'm assuming that's referring to like contract extensions.
So we are aware of that, obviously, but we've done a couple things with the logic, but we've left it as is for now, and we'll look at it. We're trying to figure out how we can do that in the future. Yeah.
And to the contract thing, sorry, I missed this out. Morale will actually affect contract signings as well. So having guys that are really upset with you, they may not re-sign with you. They may want out of town. They'll also look into the future of like how your makeup of your team is sort of, and see if they're a player that wants to win and they're a vet, they may not want to be around with your team. They may decide to go play for a championship team. So we're trying to emulate that experience with a player.
Oh, yes.
That.
So if morale is low,
Morale is high right now.
but if morale is low, that will affect like how you sign that player. Like if his morale is low, he's gonna want more money or maybe shorter contract.
Yeah, so it will have different effects on the contract itself as well.
Okay.
Not necessarily in terms of the length.
Yeah.
But if a player that you have basically doesn't want to be a part of your team and you offer him an exorbitant amount of money, he will probably sign it.
Yeah.
So it will have it'll add a little bit more of a game within the negotiation of contracts and stuff like that. And same thing goes for free agents. If you have very poor locker room chemistry, they may choose not to sign with your team as well. So you want to keep everything on the up and up.